As you can see, residents in Tshwane are saying enough is enough. Let's bring you some further reaction now as we go live to Pretoria. Joining us, the regional secretary of one of the major stakeholders, the South African Municipal Workers Union, Mpho Tladinyane. Good evening to you. You're saying that the collapse of the Tshwane Council effectively is a travesty for service delivery. I think everyone will agree with you. In what way, though, is service delivery actually being impacted?
Yeah, Norman, thanks for having us. To start with, we are very disappointed as SAMU that after having pleaded with councillors from all political parties that today's council must not collapse. What we have actually said fell on deaf ears. But the implications of actually what transpired today is the following. What we were actually expecting from today's council are the following. The council was supposed to deal with the approval of the adjustment budget. Council was supposed to deal with a report on the suspension of the governance and support officer. Council was supposed also to deal with the issue of extending the term of the acting city manager. Now, failure by council to sit on those particular, especially to consider those particular issues are the following. You'll remember that we had up until the end of this particular month to approve the adjustment budget. Now, if we could not do that particular thing today, it then says that council now has to write to both COGTA and the National Treasury and request condonation so that we can then be able to approve the adjustment budget at a later date. But the importance of the adjustment budget is the following. You'll remember that sometime early last year, or late last year, council approved the budget, and with time we then realized that we were unable to collect revenue as we had anticipated. Now there is a need for us as council now to come back and say, in terms of our anticipation, we will not be able to collect as much revenue as we had thought. So we must then be able to adjust downward in terms of that particular
Mr. Tladinyane, then a very serious situation. If the position perpetuates, in other words, if it continues, what impact then is this going to have on the functioning of the city itself?
Yeah, just to indicate that because the term of the acting city manager was not approved today, it then definitely say that from Monday next week we'll not be having the city manager in the city. And then the implication thereof is that the city manager is delegated by council and also the collective agreement, the main collective agreement to deal amongst other things on the following. The adjudicating or presiding over step 3 grievances. Now it definitely means from next week, all those particular cases that we're having as workers, whether it's unfair, suspensions, whether it's whatever cases that we have lodged against the city will not be heard because there will be no presiding officer for step 3 grievances. But the other thing is that you'll remember that council had also delegated the acting city manager or the city manager to deal with appointment of staff. Now it then definitely says from next week there will be no appointment of staff because the person who was delegated by council to deal with such issues will not be available. Issues of budget transfers, issues of ensuring that there is enough money for overtime will not be dealt with. Right. But equally, we also want to indicate that council, the city manager has also to deal with a lot of compliance issues. Ensuring that reports are being written to COGTA, to Treasury, and also to the MEC.
Mr. Tladinyane, I am going to interrupt you there. I can really hear the frustration and anger in your voice, and I think that this is echoed by a lot of people in the city itself. I also understand that you have now taken legal advice to consider a way forward if council is not convened within the next week. How is that playing out, and with what objective are you taking that legal advice for?
Yeah, we have engaged our national office to assist us with legal advice on this particular matter, and equally coming from that particular engagement, we have also agreed with national office that they will engage the minister for COGTA. We will be writing to the MEC for local government in Gauteng, and will then be giving them 7 days to intervene and ensuring that this particular state of paralysis is being dealt with. Failure to which, you'll know, you have seen in the media some 2 months back what actually happened to Makana local municipality. Will have no option as SAMU, but to approach a competent court to be able to deal with these particular matters. Whether to put the city under administration or to come up with a particular recourse that will seek to assist the people or the residents of this particular city.
Thank you very much indeed. It really is a sorry state of affairs this evening. Mpho Tladinyane, thank you very much indeed, the Regional Secretary for the South African Municipal Workers Union.